Hello?
Hey girl.
You guys will not believe this.
No, I don't want to touch on.
I told you guys I fall in love fast.
The look on your face, and you're like, ooh.
Very healthy to have female friendships.
And completely
yeah, I do want to get married
ghost
again.
me
And I
on
love
this
that.
effing
So finding that
island.
balance
Still
of
desire
I
to
think
get
have this
married.
hand where
Super
we're
like
really
rid of
having
toxic
Wasn't
people
ever
in
really
the
in
beginning.
pain and part of me.
Welcome back.
to three-way call.
With Britt Fallon Star. Hi, ladies.
Hey, we got the light on.
I see the light. Yeah, after an hour, I guess it lasted an hour and then plunk. So that's okay. How are we doing?
Good girl. How are you?
Good.
You ladies recently saw a movie that I have not seen, but a lot of my gals I've been talking to, potential clients have obsessed about, is it Wuthering Heights? Yeah, I would say it weird.
It's
Withering.
WU, Wuthering Heights.
Okay, so it is Withering, but it's WU. That's why I say it weird. Okay. Anyways, did you guys love it? I like the soundtrack because my girl Charlie is just phenomenal as always. But tell me about it. Like, what's the hype?
I will say I saw it first.
Uh-huh.
Britt texts me asking me about it, and I literally told her, she's like, "Did you cry?" I'm like, "I bawled my eyes out at the end, but not till I got home." But I told her it just put me in a spiral for the rest of the day. So I was like, my advice to you is do not see it when you have things to do or when your mind's got to be 100%. See it when you have like downtime and you can be in your feels for the rest of the day or rest of the night or whatever, because I was in my absolute feels, honey. It triggered me, but it was so good.
Wow, what do you mean? Triggered you how?
Well, I think I I don't want to get too into it because I don't want to give anything away because I don't know if you know anything about it. For me, I personally had no idea about it. I
Oh,
didn't I've
really?
read the book, nothing. Yeah, I just
Oh.
because of the soundtrack and the previews and the actors in it, that's why I wanted to see it. And
Okay.
it was amazing. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Okay.
But I just felt towards the end of the movie, I felt like I was hurt. I felt like because of like this, she has such like an intense and passionate relationship with him that I just really felt that, and just the way things played out in the end just put me in my feels because I feel like that was literally how I felt the last 2 years with my ex.
Uh,
So I just literally personalized everything, and I just felt like I don't know. I almost felt a relief because I felt like I've just been crazy the last 2 years with how like intense I have felt for my ex, and then just to see her like feel that same way and just know that like I'm not crazy, that like you can feel like that type of bond to somebody. It just made me feel like better about myself in a sense, but also put me in my feels because I've been doing so well since then for the first time in forever, but it did bring me back to that space and just made me really sad because it was like I was watching myself on screen just kind of like wither away.
oh, yeah. And
And that's
knowing
what was happening to her. And yeah, so.
and just knowing what you've gone through in your healing process, now
Mhm.
I feel like I'm more emotionally prepared to watch this movie because like
Oh,
I know nothing about. I know tons of gals are like, oh, I love the book and the movie was so good. So I'm like, Paul thinks I won't like it because it's very like British and like I don't know. It seems like it's got that Bridgerton like kind of vibe, and that's not my.
well, I mean, it takes place like back in the olden days. Britt, do you even know what year? I mean, it's
I don't remember what year. I want to say
back in
18
the day.
something, but
But like that has like nothing to do with it, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like it's just like you
yeah.
don't have to
A
think
love
about,
story. Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
just think about the time that they're in.
because I love Margot Robbie.
Mhm.
So good.
Britt, what were your thoughts on it?
Um, so yeah, asking you, I was like prepared to cry. I was like, okay, something happens, obviously. Um, and I think at last time we were talking about it, I was like, I can't remember if I read the book. So, and I don't remember if I read the book. forget it. But I know I read Jane Eyre, and I don't remember anything about that either. And she wrote that book too. I also knew that the lady that produced or made this one, this was her adaptation of the book, and it wasn't how the book really goes. There's no like real sexual stuff going on in the book. Um, but I knew that it was going to be a little bit intense and passionate in the movie. I also love Margot Robbie, and I love Jacob Elordi like since The Kissing Booth because I'm weird and I watch movies like that. But I I did cry. I think there was a lot going on for me. That was my first time taking myself out to the movie by myself, which was a huge deal for me. And then I went to go see a fucking love story by myself the day after Valentine's Day, which to me it didn't really like matter, but it was a, it was a love story. So I was kind of prepared to like, okay, I might feel really shitty after this. But I actually felt like really, like I feel like I felt like in love after that movie. I
Hmm.
did cry. I did not wait till I got home. I definitely cried in the theater. And I was just like, ever since, I feel like I've been in a kind of like a whimsical space with it. I think it's sad and also frustrating because like what the fuck? Like you just feel so frustrated that these two characters are in the place that they are and not where they should be.
Mhm.
And then the ending happens, right? So it's very frustrating, and I think that's very familiar for a lot of women, and that's why we're so pulled to it because there's this, and also it's a huge self-sabotage, which is something we're very familiar with as well. So I think I posted in my story the quote that he says, which isn't from the book as well, and it is like I have not broken your heart, you have broken it, and in doing so, you have broken mine. And I was like, that is a perfect depiction of self-sabotage because all she does is self-sabotage the love, you know what I mean? And we see that in we as women that are like, hello, this man is obsessed with you, he loves you, you're sabotaging this. It's like so freaking frustrating to watch. And then the ending happens, and you're like, holy shit. It could have been prevented. It could have been prevented.
Well,
So
I'm definitely curious now, the way you guys have summed that up for me, because I'm thinking even about the previews, and I'm like, the previews don't tell me a whole lot, other than it's a love story that takes place in a Bridgerton type of area, like timepiece. I'm like, But okay, so this now I'm curious. When it gets on Amazon Prime, I'll be ready.
She's like, I'm not going to theater for it, but it was on Prime.
Paid
And
$20 for that maid. What was the one that Amanda Siegfried just
the
did?
housemaid, housemaid.
Housemaid. Yes. So I'll pay for it at home.
And the Bridgerton thing, I want you to think like when you say Bridgerton to me, I'm thinking bright and jolly and stuff. And this is a very dark and gloomy vibe. And I love that kind of like cinematography personally. I love like the splashes of blood and I love like the skin thing and I like it's kind of like you don't know whether to be turned on or like cringe. I love that. So it's very like that. I'm trying to think of another. Did you see Nosferatu? It's like the Dracula movie that came out, I want to say like a year ago or something. It was like all the rage.
No.
Oh, okay. So then I can't compare it. So I'm
I
gonna
get what
say
you're
vibe.
saying. How it's
Yeah.
like different than Bridgerton because that's all like bright, where it's like over here it's more dark and bloody
Yeah.
and
It's definitely more probably like realist. Like Bridgerton, that's like the high society side of life that you see. And this is very like, it's still the same concept. She has to marry wealthy, she can't marry the poor guy, that kind of thing because her dad, she needs to save her dad's, land or whatever, but and it's, nothing's clean about it. There's dirt everywhere. It's, but the passion, it like it gets you every time because it's like we want that primal freaking instinct in ourselves and in in our person to just like ferociously want to love us that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'll add it to my list.
It is spicy.
Well, you had mentioned how like a lot of women resonate with it. Another thing that I want to talk to you guys about, even though Fal, I know you haven't seen it yet, Britt, you watched it today, right? The
I
American.
watched a little bit of it, yeah, as far as I could get with in between like my work stuff, but yeah, I had it on.
Yeah, so America's Next Top Model, it came out in like the early 2000s, right? Like 2003. Did you guys watch the original?
Yes,
Mm.
Okay.
of course.
Me too, because I feel like as millennials, like it kind of defined the way a lot of at least the girls that I grew up with, like our idea of body image and confidence and diet culture and so many things that I just, for me personally, because I started acting and modeling when I was 8. So I wanted to grow up in front of people and perform and dance and all the things. So a lot of what they talked about in the docu-series, I connected with because I'm like, oh my God, this, and I've already known back then, right, in the early 2000s, so much of pop culture was actually just kind of like, as Gen Z would say now, like very cringe. But I think it just shaped the way so many of us grow up now in terms of like us in business or us in our worthiness. So that's kind of what I wanted to like dissect with y'all. Not so much about the current doc, it kind of goes hand in hand. Because when you get a chance, Val, definitely see like how Tyra talks about it. And she also does explain, and we see it in the previews, like it was a different time. So I'm curious to know, like, do you guys feel in your lives as teens watching that show kind of like had an effect on you in any way?
Um, I do remember watching it and like thinking that was on during a time where like I was like really into like I wanted to be a fashion designer when I was younger. I was very into like the whole Victoria's Secret stuff, you know what I mean? Like the model world. Um, and thinking like watching it back with the documentary and to then, I don't think I realized how mean they were like back like when I was watching it as a teen, I was just like, oh, this is just how like this is how it is. And I didn't think this is mean. I just thought, oh, okay, like gotta be really you can't have the gap. You can't do this. You can't have that. You have to have this hair. You have to, you know, whatever. And I was like, okay, like that's just how it is. But now like looking back, I'm like, holy shit, like they were fucked up. Like they were fucked up.
Right. And I think some of the challenges, so Val, if you remember some of the like competitions they had, because I actually, like Britt was saying, I kind of forgot about a lot of it until they were showing the flashbacks of the various competitions and the different cycles. So when Tyra first started this thing, which by the way, she looks amazing. I didn't even Google how old she is. I think she's in her 50s now, but the girl looks phenomenal. Um, they had one was about like for instance you had to look homeless, like making each girl look as homeless as possible, and there was one about violence, like this girl got pushed off a freaking rooftop or
I
something.
remember the violence one, yeah.
You do. What else? With the gap in her teeth, that one girl, she said, okay, we're gonna do a makeover. So we're gonna fix the gap in your tooth. But that wasn't until, so if they had, I think, 18 cycles, that was in cycle 6, if I'm remembering correctly. So it just kept getting worse and worse. And for me, I'm like, now in 2026, 2025, I started getting back into being in front of people. So I'm doing like runway stuff and I'm looking to get signed print modeling wise and all these things. And I'm like, things are so different now. I can't even imagine. I can't even believe that they got away with what they got away with back then. It's just wild.
Since you did watch it all, I'm curious, since I've obviously just got through like the first little part of it there, and Tyra's really talking about how like she wanted to change how the modeling industry was. And the perception of it and how it was damaging people and things like that. And I was like, wow, that's like amazing. And then as you kind of watch it and you see that she also contributed to a lot of these women's like mental places, it's like, where did she miss the mark? You know what I mean? Where at what point did she go from this is how it is and maybe that was still her intention, but at some point she does get mean, you know, like and she is adding to those harsh, I don't want to call them truths, but those harsh things that they were saying to those people
Mhm.
as they weren't good enough or they needed to be this. Like where, if at all in the documentary, do they discuss that or do they bring that up that we can clearly see that you contributed to?
There is, so that was kind of like my criticism when I was actually watching it with Paul, because we were like halfway through, it's 3 episodes. You notice how she never really says her part, because they bring back quite a few of the gals and they're talking about their lived experiences through this as 18 and like 20-year-olds. And she never really brings it up. And then one of the producers actually asks her, like, hey, do you want to talk about X, Y, and Z? And she's like, one, she said flat out no comment. And then the other, I think there was a gal that she was just like, I feel really, really bad. But again, it was kind of like the time, right? So.
Mm.
My question for you ladies is, was the show empowering? Because that's basically kind of what you're saying, like she wanted it to be empowering, but it turned into this terrible monster. So how did you guys think about it at the time? Did you feel like it was empowering or like now looking back at it, you're like, it wasn't at all?
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like at a young age watching it, it's like, okay, now I'm gonna try to walk down the runway and like I'm gonna try to like make these poses. You know, like you just kind of play with it. And I don't think that I personally dealt with a ton of like image issues to begin with to like have that issue, like to have that kind of in the back of my mind, like, oh, I need to be skinnier, or oh, I need to be doing this or that. So I don't remember ever thinking of it in that like negative way.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I think I like thinking back to my younger self, I just remember putting pressure on myself. Like, I need to be as skinny as possible. Back then, I couldn't necessarily get into runway because I'm too short. So I'm not natural. I'm 5'3". But so I'm like, I have to find another avenue if I want to get into modeling. But I remember telling myself, like, I need to eat this way. I need to be super skinny. And so me now as a coach, a lot of the women I work with, because I coach them through mindset and confidence and feeling good in their own skin, which is literally my bare physique, like feel confident in your own skin, or motto, should I say. It was just so wild watching this. Like, I can't believe here's the literal receipts of why we are who we are today as millennials. Because Gen Z, they don't put up with this nonsense. Let me tell you what. They're on TikTok criticizing every little thing. And I think it's absolutely crazy. I also wanted to ask you guys, so it doesn't sound like, okay, Britt, you didn't really deal with anything body image wise like me and a lot of my clients. But for you, Val, did you feel like reality TV, or not even just this show, but like any shows ever maybe normalized hustle culture for either of you? Like, because again, I work with women who are high performing, and so they're putting these pressures on themselves, like it's all or nothing, and that bleeds into from career into their fitness journeys as well.
I honestly did not get introduced to the hustle culture until 2020. So that's more of a new topic for me, just because when COVID hit, and then, everybody was starting an online business. So I started my online business and I learned a lot. I'm super grateful for it, but a lot of it was very, very like hustle hard, no sleep, do this, do that, do this. And it was just like very intense, but I loved it because I was in a very toxic marriage at the time. So I needed something else to put my mind to. And so the way that they were like pushing me, I feel like honestly really helped me because of like my living situation and at my at-home life. But now that I'm not like in my marriage, I do look back on like the hustle culture, and I don't know if I really like believe that or like support the hustle culture. I don't think that that's really authentically who I am, to be honest.
And
That's
that's the thing. It's very much and I'm curious because I know what you're talking about in terms of your old business, but like the people that were quote unquote, because it's an MLM,
Mhm.
kind of at the top of that MLM, were they millennials too?
Um,
Maybe.
for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, there were people that were a lot older than me. There were people that were a lot younger than me. For the most part, the people that I worked with, we were in about the same age range, but there were people that were way younger and way older.
Yeah, okay. Because I feel like the hustle culture phenomenon, like I don't know like when it started, but based off the women that I work with, it's very popular from millennials up to what's the one or not the boomers or is it Gen X? I should know this because my husband is in this generation, but I think it's Gen X because they always say we're the forgotten
I
ones.
was gonna say, I think it is Gen X.
Yeah, and so this, I think that America's Next Top Model, it was very much like you gotta, some of their challenges were wild. The one, because again, they kept getting worse. Did you guys see the one where they're running as fast as they can on a treadmill in heels?
I
No.
don't know. I don't remember if I did or not.
Well, see, I forgot about all this stuff. I used to be like, oh my God, I love that show. That show's so great. And then looking back at it, I'm like, this show is kind of terrible. And the sad part is a lot of these girls that came out of that show couldn't even get signed. They couldn't
Hmm.
even get work because, first of all, back then, reality TV was a total joke. After college, I actually worked in reality TV casting for a long time. And I remember people saying, like, that's going to damage your career because it just wasn't what it is now. And so they could not even get hired anywhere except for I want to say the runner up in cycle one got signed to like IMG or somebody big. But again, tall, skinny, white gal. I just got to be honest. She was like the main girl, but the rest of these girls, like, they ended up.
There was one, I forget her name. There was one that won it. I want to say she might have been a redhead, and she ended up marrying one of the guys from the Brady Bunch. Do you know what I'm talking about? She ended up marrying Greg Brady.
Okay, that sounds.
Yeah,
I
she was
wonder.
actually a really famous model from them. I'll have to see if I can get her name.
I wonder if she was in the doc. But yeah, it was just crazy to me how many girls were like, "Nope, weren't able to get work, weren't able to jump." I was like, "Oh my God, you went through all of that, girl, and for what?"
Adrienne Curry. Did they have her in there?
I don't think that they had her.
She was from, yeah, she was, oh, she's from Cycle One. Oh, so she was the winner from Cycle One?
Oh, okay, she won,
Oh,
and she was not in the doc. No,
okay.
no.
Oh, I didn't realize she was in the first one. Yeah.
Okay, I'm remembering her face now. She's really
Mhm.
dang.
Yeah, because in the doc they say like the next top model is going to be, and then they say her, and then they immediately kind of go to like the blonde girl getting the deal, and like didn't even like touch anymore on the other thing. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So many things. Let's see, what's in my notes? Janice Dickinson. I forgot about this.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Crazy.
Talk
So
about
crazy.
harsh.
Hmm.
There was one gal who they called her the heavy one, which honestly, she looks like she's my size. And she was black, but they always said, you look bloated or you look too heavy, or, and she was literally like maybe 120 pounds max. But some of the things that came out of Janice's mouth blow my mind. I think I would have just been, I mean, at 18, my mental health would be struggling today.
Yeah. Weren't
Mm-mm.
they doing like the measurements? And then one girl was like 114 and she's like, oh, so I'm the lowest. Am I the lowest? And
Yeah.
I was like 114 or something. And I was like,
And we wonder, well, some of us wonder why, because I know for me, and again, some of my clients, we've got this number. It doesn't even matter how tall you are, or your genetics, we've got this number. I need to be, it's usually when I talk to women for the first time, 115 pounds. That's like the number. And I'm like, babe, you're 5'9". Like, let's talk real.
yeah.
Come on now. Everyone's bodies are different, but if you have the height and you can put on muscle and actually be 150 pounds or whatever, like, does it matter?
Right.
Um, what any other extreme shoots I want to take? If you don't remember, okay, there was one with crocodiles and spiders. I mean, this shit is just
Oh,
wild.
no. I've been past.
I feel like I remember the
Pregnant.
crocodile one.
And
That's coming to me.
it's just not even worth it at that point.
How scary.
Spiders would be a hard pass. Crocodiles from a distance, fine.
I don't think it was distance. Weren't they like on them, or am I imagining this?
Wait, on them? No.
Spiders were the crocodiles. I think they were just in the water, maybe. I'm trying to remember. Ay, ay,
For some reason, I'm picturing them like on the crocodile.
ay.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't. It was terrible. But I guess my last question, well, I've got two more questions for you ladies. Do you feel like at that time, so put yourself back in your teenage mind, okay? Do you think that it taught you about competition between women, whether it be consciously or subconsciously by chance?
I, it might have subconsciously, but and I'm sorry, but I really like don't remember a ton from back in the day. But I don't know
Your
why.
teen?
Yeah, I really don't. I can like picture myself watching the show, but I can't like picture my life around it. Um, I don't think I watched it in a way that was like, oh, they're competing against each other. I was watching it in a way like, how could I do that kind of thing,
Same.
Hmm.
So I don't know if I noticed it as that competition amongst each other. Watching the documentary back and how they were like talking to each other, I was like, damn, guys, calm down. Because they were saying like that production were like put putting them against each other. Like and then they would
Hmm.
have like the confessional and then like so and so said this about you, so and so said that about you, and then they'd be like, oh, and I was like that's reality TV. We know that for sure now. We've seen enough bad reality TV, but it's like, especially when reality TV wasn't that common. I think what else was even around that time? Like Real World.
Yeah, probably. I
Mhm.
loved Worlds.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So it's just like, I don't think I saw it as competition. I don't know if it subconsciously did that. At some point in life, though, I feel like we have all been subconsciously wired to see women as competition. And I think a lot of millennial women, especially, are slowly dissolving that, where we get more girls, and more supportive, that kind of thing, which
I
is great.
agree.
But
Mhm.
like, I think, just growing up in that era, that was a big thing
Mhm.
alone, whether that show is out or not. I think I
Yeah,
don't know, detoxing from that kind of stuff.
exactly. Um, okay, so my last question is if it aired today in 2026, how obviously I don't think any of us thinks it would survive the way it was, but what would like need to change in order for it to even be good? Do you even think it would possible to make a good version?
I think so, and I think I would love it, to be honest. Because other than all like the bad things, like Britt said too, when I was watching it back in the day, I don't think I was really like consuming these like things as negative. I just was like, how can I do that? And I feel like to me, I mean, I guess I was just obviously so naive, but it made it feel like relatable, like, wow, like they're going on a search for all these women to become like, so we don't have to have this certain background or money or this and that to become a famous model. Like they're literally, working their way through the show to become that. So I feel like 100%, like I would watch it, and I think that they could do it in a really healthy, inspiring way. And especially with now that the times have changed and there's a lot of curvier models,
Yeah.
models with skin conditions, all the, models with crooked teeth, gap teeth, whatever, different
Hmm.
things that are being shown as they are beautiful. I think it could be a really beautiful thing if someone did it and came out and did it the right way. And I would be all for it because I love that stuff.
I totally agree. I feel like now with our mindset of body positivity and mental health awareness and just we've changed, at least we're trying to as a society to view things that were, I'll say, toxic back then. I think it can be done really well. And I think, again, it goes back to Tyra wanted to do something for that reason to show like you can be a different culture and be diverse and not have that look that they are, that even she felt the pressures of being,
Mhm.
and being one of the first Black women to have so much success on the runway. I think it can be done different and better too.
I
Absolutely.
feel like there's been some shows similar, and I was just looking one up because there was a show that I was watching. I want to say though it was like a makeup artist version of that show, and I can't, it's none of the ones that came up, like Face Off came up and something else. And then there was also Project Runway, which is like the fashion designer show. I feel like those, they kind of are in the same realm of like they are hard on the contestants. They say shitty things to them, and they have to be perfect, and this has to fit this kind of design, and this makeup has to fit this kind of model. And so we've seen similar reality shows already that I feel are similar to what that was trying to do, and they're okay, but I think maybe they didn't work out because they were trying to be too much like that almost. Like, why do you have to have the one judge that's kind of like a dick? You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to have that? Why do you have to make someone cry every episode and that kind of thing? Like, it's like, why do you have to make them be put down? But so I think it's the same. They go through the same storyline. Like, oh, let's try to take America's Next Top Model, but make it for the makeup artist side of it. Let's do the fashion design side of it. And then, but you see the same storyline kind of come through, which is that we're going to make people feel shitty about it in the end.
I've never seen those two shows. Like I've seen tons of clips for Project Runway, but that makes so much sense as to why they maybe didn't go very far. If they're
Mhm.
just doing it the same kind of like formula, not in 2026. Mm-mm.
And I will say, I looked up the crocodile shoot. They are definitely on the crocodiles. So I was
Are
not,
they?
yeah.
Wow.
Yep, they're standing over them. One's kneeling on them. Some have their hands on the back. Like,
I
yeah.
mean,
Wow.
if they're like with people nearby, I probably would do that.
There's no, I would be so scared. I think,
But
Well, had its like mouth closed, like
yeah,
some
and
in
its
the
mouth is
mouth.
closed. Yeah.
oh, they have it like taped or something.
Then I would do it.
Oh, okay. That's the only way.
Yeah, it's up like I am nowhere near that thing. You are
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh my God.
I feel like every video I see of the crocodiles, they're like kind of slow until they like snap at you. The snap is fast, but
Yes,
for the most part, I feel like they're kind of slow. So I'm
that's
like,
what freaks me out. That's why I
don't
feel like I
nearby.
feel the same about cats. because I feel like it's so unexpected because just out of nowhere they're like, "Meow," or come at you or claw at you. Just same like with the alligator. It's just like out of nowhere. I feel like I can't read them. I want to be able to read them.
That is 100% fact about people. They are chill 1 minute and scratching the shit out of you the next.
Yeah, you just never know and you're like, what the hell did I do? Like, why did I piss you off?
They're sensitive babies.
Oh my gosh, cat.
Yeah, ladies, I think that's pretty much like all the highlights. As you'll just have to go through and watch it. And for our listeners, if you've already seen it, let me know because I'm sure I'm forgetting about some of the more iconic moments where you're just like, I cannot believe this has got to be a joke. And that was one of the models was saying, like, I couldn't get a job because none of the pictures from my photo shoots I could do anything with because this isn't you would never actually shoot this in real life. It's like it's so, so bad. And that was our entertainment. That's the sad part. But I will say, I think what some of the shows like America's Got Talent, do now instead of pulling in like even Simon Cowell, you guys remember him on what was it? Kelly's.
American
Yeah,
Idol.
American Idol. He was like the bad judge or mean judge. Now he's on America's Got Talent and he's just such a sweetheart because they rewritten that I guess, formula to where instead of making people feel bad, that they'll be critiquing them, but they use more of an emotional pull of the contestant's background and like why they want this in order to make us feel like, okay, we want to vote for them, we want them to win. And I think if America's Next Top Model did that kind of formula, it would be even more like just show us like where they're coming from. Like the one gal who worked at a Walgreens before she was on the show. And then did you guys see the part where she cheated on her boyfriend? They filmed the whole thing. She calls her boyfriend, and you hear him on the line calling her a stupid effing bitch and breaking up with her. And then she goes back to working at the Walgreens after the show ends. And she was in the like top five, I'm pretty sure.
No.
It's just sad. So I'm like, yeah, I think pull us in a different way, then I would watch it. I would watch a remake.
Wow.
Well, thanks
Really don't care.
for diving into this topic. I just feel like every day I talk to some gal. You know me, I'm in the IGDMs almost every day, but a lot of them still, especially millennials and older, have this, realize, should I say, that we are coming around and like trying to heal from a lot of what that like toxic diet culture, body image, worthiness, all those things have implement in some of our brains, and they're working through that through the fitness journey and through a mindset journey. Um, and I think it's just crazy to see how much we've changed. And I'm so grateful society is so different now.
Hey,
Thank goodness.
so since we were on this topic, and I know that all three of us just finished Tell Me Lies, I'm so sad that it's over.
I'm sad, but I have like to take a breath. Like, okay, like how much longer could I handle that?
Uh,
I'm pissed, I gotta say. I'm
why? Tell us.
because I don't want to ruin the ending. Because I started listening to Call Her Daddy and I had to turn it off because they ruined the ending. So I'm not gonna ruin it for our
Well,
listeners.
listeners, if you haven't seen Tell Me Lies in the episode here, come back
Yeah.
after you watched
Done.
it and see how you feel. See if you agree with us and let us know in the comments.
Hmm.
Or let it rip, honey.
Because I'm pissed that Steven won. You know how competitive I am. So I'm like, there's no freaking way I would have gotten in that car with him. No. I mean, I'd like to think I probably would have, and then figured out another way to still get on top. But I'm pissed.
Britt, hold your thought for a second because I already know what you're gonna say. Star, so when Star and I were talking about this and we were talking about the things that pissed us off, it's funny because Star had mentioned that, and I was telling her, I'm like, I didn't really get what she meant. And then I was like, oh my gosh, because at the end she's laughing. And I told Star, I'm like, I didn't understand really why she was laughing. I thought she was just laughing, like, of course he did it again, so she's laughing, like, stupid me. Like, that's how I initially took it. And then when I was talking to Star, and Star was like, well, no, because he won. So that's why she's laughing. Because they were talking about winning and he won. And I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. And then I talked to Britt. And Britt, take it away.
Well, are you talking about the thing I sent you?
Yes. Because I feel
The
like you agree with
theory,
that, don't you?
yeah, the theory is that she did it because Diane kind of said like he will always try to win or whatever. And that's true. The whole thing is that he thinks he won, but
Oh, so
but
that he can let him go forever.
so that he could really be gone.
So it was a
And I'm
reverse
like,
psychology kind of thing.
yeah, I'm like, this is that would that's a I'd much rather think of it that way because I think we all know what it's like to give the same person a chance over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, finally, like, and this is a span of 6 years later at this point that this is happening where I'm like, there's no fucking way 6 years later you are still falling for this shit. Like, no way. That gives no woman hope. So please don't let it be that, okay? So I much prefer the idea of her getting in the car, letting Steven win, and never freaking seeing him ever again.
Right. And then we take it as her laughing because she knows that she actually won, but he thinks that he won.
Yep.
Maybe that's a stretch, but maybe. Where's the producer? We just need to call her and
I know.
Okay,
write
so
her.
Britt, you need to send Star that thread because I couldn't picture any of those things. So basically, Star, everything that you and I were like, we're pissed about this, we have questions about this. I
Yeah.
was talking to Britt about it, and she found a thread, and literally the producer answers every single question that we've had, every single thought, and basically tells you if she were to continue the episode, this is what would have happened. Like, this is how she like is
Interesting.
seeing it play out in her head. And it answered every single thing I could ever think of. And it just like made me think, whoa. I yeah. So you have to read it.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting because my thing is, why not just let the show continue? We're already so glued to it. Like, just give us one more season and wrap up all
Mhm.
the endings.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely had like some things that they needed to address. Obviously, one of the things I don't think was addressed in that thread was um the issue with the teacher and Bree. That wasn't in there, right?
Oh, I
No,
thought
she
it
did
was
talk
Big
about the
Red.
Oh,
teacher.
she did talk about it? Okay.
Yeah.
The wife gets a grip, right?
She basically says that the wife knew all that her that moment that the wife had with Bree was real, like that the wife knew what the husband was doing and that it obviously was very unhealthy and toxic and all the things. And she felt for Bree, but when push came to shove, she basically loved him so much that she would stand for him no matter what in their marriage, even knowing that what he was doing was effed up. And
Yeah.
that later down the line, she would see that the husband would get caught up in it and
Okay.
everything would unfold for him the way it should unfold.
Okay, so she doesn't wake the fuck up and leave like she should have.
No, but they
She
do
just
end
gets
up
caught.
yeah, they do end up getting divorced because the husband does get caught up in a separate case or whatever.
Yeah, we had like so many different like infuriating things happening, right? We have like Lucy just absolutely getting, I mean, the trauma bond that occurs in that whole thing, the hold it has on her, which is just insane and frustrating. But from a standpoint of like, how that works mentally, it's like you hurt for her because you can't like it's very difficult to come out of those kinds of situations. It just really is. And then you have the frustration of Brie getting like gaslit by these freaking people, including the other girl that was going through it too, is like,
Mhm.
is
And
it,
that
it,
was my other thing. They didn't even talk about the fact that she was a minor when that all started. So that could have been a whole other angle that they could have
That part.
in the next season had the professor get in some kind of trouble. And also the part where he's telling is Evan, he's all like teaching Evan how to be a manipulator. I wanted Bree to like find out about that.
Yes.
The thread you guys are talking about, but it's just like it's such a bullshit ending in my opinion. Like I was not a fan of that season series finale. I'm
yeah, they
so still caught up in these characters right now.
we shouldn't have had to read what happened through this way. It
Right.
should have unfolded,
Yeah.
especially because, I mean, you gave us like such large gaps of freaking time between. You should just give us a real ending for Pete's sake. I do like that it blew up. I like that Stephen was just like, fuck all of you guys, even though I wish it was more like, fuck you, Stephen.
Uh-huh.
But, I like that it kind of exploded in that way. I do feel like they could have expanded on the teacher situation. They could have brought that light to Bree, and Wrigley and Bree could have been together
Yeah.
earlier, perhaps. We didn't need to go to the wedding for all this stuff. It could have happened at some other event, maybe their event, I don't know, and then seeing Pippa and Diana, yeah,
Hmm.
um, see their relationship unfold, as we know that from again, because we had to learn it from that thing, that it was kind of a newer relationship. They weren't dating for all these 6 years. It was just like they rekindled things.
Hmm.
And honestly, I just wanted to like see Wrigley just happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
such
just
And
want
a
to see him
Bree,
happy.
because I feel like she deserves that. And Star, what was the thing that I was asking you? I was like, I wanted to know who did this, and you were like, oh, well, it was Wrigley.
oh who called Yale and got Steven kicked
Yeah,
out?
I said I wanted to find out who did that, and then Star was like, "Well, I think it was Wrigley," because, and I was like, "Oh yeah," because the next clip it did just show Wrigley
Yeah.
by himself,
Mhm.
so I think we're to assume that Wrigley did that.
And
Yeah,
Pippa was
especially because he just had
upset.
the,
Huh?
sorry.
Oh no, I was just thinking Pippa was upset, right? When she was talking to him like he'll never be stopped. And I think that was like one of his ways of stopping him.
Yep. I was gonna
Oh,
say
okay.
after the conversation that he had with Pippa, that's when Steven comes to the lunch table and he's like, "Oh, I'm leaving." And he just looks at Steven like,
You idiot.
fucking Pippa's right, and no one's fucking doing anything about this guy. Okay, bye, Steven. And then he does that. It has to be Wrigley.
Okay. Ugh, love that. That and what was the other thing that really pissed me off? I really wanted Bree to know that Evan got her mom drunk. Like,
Yeah.
oh, gosh, oh, that makes me so mad.
He's like turning, literally, we see him turning into an asshole from the professor, like being groomed. Well, this is how you do it. And I'm like, that is some bullshit. Oh my
I
God.
feel like I feel like Evan was always kind of low key like gaslighty and manipulative, but now he's just learning from like a master. You know what I mean?
Bro.
But I never liked how he was never like just let Bree like me for me. It was always like I have to play this part for Bree to like me for me to reel her in. And she's so sweet and innocent. It's like, of course, but it's an overall show of like how easily we can get manipulated, which sucks to know, and the
Mhm.
gaslighting that happens and how like you're watching this real time and how that mentally fucks people up. Lucy literally was having a whole fucking mental breakdown. She like she couldn't even tell reality from not reality anymore. She couldn't remember telling that girl the same thing about Stephen twice. Like she was losing her mind, and that's literally what it does to you. So it's not like, oh, Lucy's so stupid, like she shouldn't be doing this or that. It's like this is literally what's your brain is changing, quite literally, with these kinds of interactions. That's what it does to you mentally.
Ah, that show. Yeah. What a good show in general. Very good show. Definitely took me back to some college scenarios.
Oh, really?
I'll leave it at
Well,
that.
I do want to hear all these scenarios. But real quick, just on the characters, which character do you guys feel like you resonated with the most? And then which character did you just love the most?
Oh, for me, I resonated the most with Brie, hands down. And then which one I loved the most?
Yeah. Just like I love this character. Like this character is so good.
I have to think about that one.
Star.
I think my favorite, like as we were watching the last season, because my memory is terrible, so yeah, no, I'd say overall, Wrigley's probably my favorite. But honestly, I don't resonate with any of those people, to be honest.
Not even
She's
in
like,
your college years?
No, the scenarios were some familiar, but if anyone Brie, yeah, because when I was young, I was very, very naive up until a certain point. But I would say if I had to pick, it would be Brie, just because she's just rose-colored glasses all the time. But she'd been through some shit though, and
Yeah.
I don't relate to that part, but I have.
That's the part I relate to. So let's see, that's where we're different.
Yeah, my childhood was, I mean, messed up a little, but not that much, like everyone's. Yeah.
I feel like watching this, I feel like every season my like favorite characters kind of changed.
mm,
Because I will say I ac absolutely hated Lucy at one point, not in this season, but when she sent that letter,
Oh,
I absolutely hated her. I was like, I cannot effing stand her. But
mm,
when this season, I will say, yeah, I loved Wrigley. And Wrigley wasn't someone before these last two seasons that I like loved.
mm,
But I
right.
really did enjoy him this season, and I really enjoyed Diana this season too. She wasn't
Yeah.
really someone that I was like loving
right.
the past two seasons, but I feel like this season I really enjoyed her.
Yeah. I think I loved Wrigley the whole time because I just had like a very soft spot for him from the get-go. He's like the kind of like misunderstood jock vibe that's like he's just a big teddy bear, but nobody pays any mind to him because they think he's dumb, you know?
Mm.
But he really is just like a big softie, has a big heart. So I was like have a soft spot for him. And then yeah, like last season and this season, I was like, well, now I'm in love with him. So it's like, because he's just like the character arch or arc, I don't know. Whatever that word is, very good for him. And then, unfortunately, I resonated with Lucy way too much, so we just won't talk about it.
You know what's funny? Britt and I were talking about the characters in real life, and as we all know, like Lucy and Steven are together in real life, which is amazing. Love that for them. But then she had mentioned to me that Pippa and Wrigley are together in real life. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Star?
Oh, I would have bet Pippa was a lesbian in real life.
Bree's a lesbian.
Huh?
Bree is a
Is a
lesbian.
lesbian? Okay, I could see that.
Oh, okay. Good for
Yeah,
them.
I didn't know that. And then I was doing some research and then I found out that Steven's mom is Katie Seagal. Do you know who that is?
It is King Seagal. Isn't that
I'm
crazy?
like, what? My mind was completely blown.
Me too, girl. Me too. And technically, what's the girl that plays Lucy? I always forget her. Grace
Grace
something.
Van Patten.
Yeah, she's technically a Nepo baby as well. One of I think one of her parents was an actor, not like super famous, but definitely in the business. Her parents.
So what's crazy is I told Britt that, right? And Britt was like, oh yeah, I already knew that. And then I was like, well, it's just even crazier that like she plays his mom in the show. And Britt was like, wait, what? Like she
I
didn't
forgot.
she forgot
Yeah.
that we had seen her in the show before.
Well, because I was wondering, so when I watched that season, I really was wondering how they pull Katie Sagal into this. Because
Girl.
unknown, but then when I was listening to Call Her Daddy, Alex actually asked him, what's Jackson White? He was on her
Yeah.
show and they said that they called his mom and asked her to do the show.
Oh,
Okay, that part though, that you fucking said, because I kid you not, when I was watching those scenes with her, I was thinking the same thing. How the hell did they get her into the show? Like she is like way too big for the show. You know what I mean? I'm like, how the hell is she like that? I thought it was so random
It
seeing her as his mom and to
crazy.
find out that she's really his mom. My mind is still blown that she is really his mom. But obviously it makes sense now because she was in the show. So it's like, yeah, so I get that. Like,
Yeah.
but whoa, that's crazy.
he did
So
an interview about that too, about they were like, how was it like with your mom actually playing your mom in the show? And he was kind of like, it was kind of like a mind fuck to like see her in that role, but then also like she's my mom like for real, but she's playing it like a different. So it was like messing with his head a little bit. I sent it to you, I'll send it to you, Star, the what his answer was. And I was like, that makes sense. He's like, because you're looking at this character as this kind of like, manipulative, not great mom. And then, but also that is my mom. And,
yeah.
and she's not that. So it's hard to like, and I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, I actually listened to it real time because are you sending me a clip or is it
Yeah,
a,
it's a clip from an interview on some I want to say red carpet or
um,
something.
okay, maybe that's where Alex pulled it from because she brought that up and he was saying for both his girlfriend and his mom was kind of a mind F. So that
I
guy,
can
he,
imagine.
he's a good actor because even Paul was like, I just want to punch that guy in the face. Paul, I hate him so much. I was like,
Yeah, I was saying like I love like Lucy. Well, I love Grace and him in like separate, but only because I don't like he has a different hair in real life. He has hair, period, in real life. Where I'm like, that's how I differentiate. Like, he's not really Steven. We don't hate him. We hate the character. This guy has hair. Okay, they're different people.
So true.
well, I thought it was so funny when Alex and Jackson started the conversation. He literally goes, "Are you afraid of me?" Because she was so her energy was so off. She's like, "Well, you're this super nice guy. You're coming in and talking to all the producers and everything, and you're so sweet and blah 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 and the staff." But then you're Steven. She's like, "It's hard for me to dissociate right now."
Like, all I know is you manipulate
Crazy.
people.
Oh man, what a good
That's
show.
gonna be so hard, especially for her to like interview these people that play these crazy characters and then they come into her studio and they're like, "Hey, how are you?" And it's like, I just feel like you're being so fake. Like I'd be like, "Stop being so nice to everyone," but it's like really him, which is crazy.
So crazy.
Did you ever see Sons of Anarchy?
I didn't. No, I didn't watch it.
Okay, well then you're not gonna get our little inside thought. But basically, Katie Seagal's in it. She's the mom. She's
Mhm.
a crazy, toxic mother. And she has her son, and her son's name in the show is Jackson. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and so he goes by Jax for short. And so when Britt and I were talking about the Katie Seagal thing, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I just remember in Sons of Anarchy, her son's name is Jackson. So I'm
Wow.
like, that's weird. And then I was like, we were talking about, we wonder if she calls him Jax in real life.
That would be,
So I want someone who interviews them to like ask, I wonder if she's ever been asked that question before. Like, do you call your son Jax? I'm sure someone has had to ask her that.
Yeah.
oh
To
man.
find that answer.
Well, he also goes in, talks about, gosh, I might as well just give you the cliff notes to his Call Her Daddy episode.
Yeah, because I need to watch that episode.
He talks about growing up with his parents and just kind of a toxic relationship and the divorce. It's a really good interview. I definitely recommend.
Yeah, I definitely want to listen to it.
So then you're kind of like, well, some of this kind of tracks with, the characters that she's played. He said obviously she eventually grew out of whatever issues she had when he was young and became a better, I think is in his term, like better mom. But you would never think Katie Sagal, or you know what I mean? Like with her ex is this, ugh, it's so interesting.
I don't, well, see, for me, it's like I'm so used to her in Sons of Anarchy, so it's like I have a hard time dissociating her with being Kate Long. What was that movie that she was in years ago? It was like a Disney movie, and she was like a robot.
Disney.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh. Okay. Did you guys ever did when you were growing up, did you watch Disney movies? Like
Yeah.
not the cartoon ones, but like the actual on Disney. Like they had oh, what are all those like Luck of the Irish? Um
Oh, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
did you
yes.
guys watch like those type of Disney Okay, I
I
was
watched
obsessed
all
with
those
those.
movies.
Okay, and then Katie Sagal was on one, and I think she was like a robot. Uh,
Oh my God, I
Oh,
know what you're
the
talking
house
about.
one. The house one.
Yeah,
Smart House.
Smart
I
house.
remember this movie.
Yeah, Disney movie 1999. She was AI Pat. Her name was Pat.
She was
Like
AI.
yeah, like a robot mother. But aside, so like I just picture her like doing all these crazy roles. So it was like hard for me. And even in Tell Me Lies, she was a toxic mom.
Yeah, she was.
So it's like that's all I can see her as. So I feel like I wouldn't be that surprised by what he has to say about her, you know? I don't know.
Oh man.
Did
I
you
feel
listen to
like
Call Her Daddy about with when she did Grace Van Patten?
I did, but
Was that what you did?
that was before I watched the show. Because Val, you told me
Oh,
you were like, you gotta watch it, and I was like,
okay. Because I want to listen to hers too, because I know Alex was asking her questions about the show too.
yeah. I'll probably go back and listen now that I've wrapped the show. So sad. Mm.
I know. Such good shows though, and I'm definitely gonna watch the America's Next Top Model doc.
Your mind is gonna be blown, girl.
I bet.
I went in thinking I was gonna watch one episode today and then maybe two tomorrow, but I just watched all three. I was so glued. I was like, what in the world? Girl. And I know you've done a couple of runways, so do you guys just like, at least with the show that you guys do, here, the really amazing, what's it called? I love it. It's like the,
What she said?
what she
yeah, what she said. Because I find now that I'm in this like runway world, it is so chaotic backstage for literally no reason. And it's like people are just like freaking out, trying to go from doing quick changes, and then they're like, excuse me, and like yelling at each other. And I'm like, this anxiety, calm down, everyone breathe. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. That's the kind of stuff I'd like to see in the reboot. Like, show us the real stuff.
True.
Yeah. Well, like we see those little backstage clips on like the Victoria's Secret fashion show, where
Yeah.
like sometimes they show those like quick clips and then just like immediately getting undressed and then but they look like so happy too. Sometimes I'm like,
The
are
most
you?
organized, that is the most
Yeah.
organized chaos. They are lying to us. At least the ones I've done, I'm like,
Let's take some tips.
but yeah, ladies, thanks for chatting with I just wanted to catch up on what we've been watching because some of these are it's popping off over here on TV right now.
It is.
It really is.
And this weekend we're gonna celebrate Star. So when this comes out, it'll be what?
Yeah.
Star's birthday. Birthday weekend is on the 28th. This will be out after that.
Aw.
So everyone has to wish her birthday immediately.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carol.
Immediately.
Flood those DMs. No boys, but girls. Flood
No
the
boys, just
DMs.
the girls.
Yes, please. Well, what a fun night with my girls.
Yes. Until next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.